A shocking story out of Sumter County where it appears a python killed a child. It happened in Oxford near the Villages. The snake attacked the 2-year-old girl while its owner was sleeping.
For centuries, humans have shared their homes with creatures of all kinds, from devoted dogs to dangerous wild beasts.
St. Louis man viciously attacked by chimps while doing his master's thesis research.
We trust them, love them, and sometimes forget their primal nature.
Fetch. Lord!
But what happens when that trust shatters? When instincts take over? These are the chilling tales of 16 pets who turned on their owners in ways you won't believe.
Ming the tiger gained fame when he was discovered living inside Harlem's Drew Hamilton houses in 2003. Ming had injured his owner, tipping off authorities to his living arrangements.
Kellyanne Walls and her black bear, Teddy. In 2009, Kellyanne Walls faced a tragic end at the hands of her pet black bear, Teddy. The incident shocked her community and highlighted the risks of keeping large predators. Walls, an owner of several exotic animals, was cleaning Teddy's cage when the fatal attack occurred. Walls had raised Teddy since he was a cub and believed their bond made him safe. Her hands-on approach reflected her confidence, but the tragedy revealed the unpredictable nature of wild animals. On that day, her children and a neighbor stood nearby as she began her routine cleaning. Without warning, Teddy turned on her, pinning her to the ground. The children and neighbor acted quickly, trying to distract the bear and free Walls. However, Teddy's immense strength was too much. Desperate to save her, the neighbor grabbed a firearm and shot the bear. But by the time they managed to stop Teddy, it was already too late. Sandra Pioven and her wolf dogs. Sandra Pioven was a passionate animal lover from Pennsylvania, admired for her devotion to her wolf-dog hybrids. Over the years, she had built a pack of 9 hybrids, part wolf, part domestic dog. Pioven believed her bond with the animals could break barriers between humans and their wild instincts. These hybrids, though striking and often loyal, retained unpredictable wild traits. Pioven dedicated her life to caring for them, fully involved in their routines. Friends remembered her love for the pack, describing her connection with each animal as something unique and deeply personal. To Pioven, they weren't just animals, they were family. Tragically, her trust in these hybrids ended in disaster. In 2006, during a routine visit to their enclosure, the animals unexpectedly attacked her. The violence was sudden and devastating. By the time authorities reached the scene, there was nothing they could do to save her. They focused on securing the animals to prevent further harm. Terry Vance Garner and his pigs. In 2012, a horrifying event unfolded on an Oregon farm. Terry Vance Garner, a 69-year-old farmer, was found partially consumed in his pig enclosure. Garner, known for his love of animals and passion for pig farming, had entered the pen to tend to his pigs. Tragically, he never returned. A family member made the grim discovery, leaving the community in shock. The exact cause of Garner's death remains unclear. Investigators suggest he may have suffered a medical emergency, like a heart attack or stroke, which caused him to collapse. Another theory points to the pigs themselves. Weighing hundreds of pounds, one of them might have accidentally knocked him down. In his weakened state, the animals could have acted on their natural scavenging instincts. Such behavior, while unsettling, is not uncommon in stressed livestock. Marius Els and his hippo, Humphrey. Hippos are considered some of the deadliest animals on Earth, causing around 500 deaths annually in Africa. Marius Els, a farmer from South Africa, had an unusual bond with a 2,600-pound hippo named Humphrey. He had raised the massive animal since it was a baby. Els often spoke of his affection for Humphrey, calling him like a son. He believed he had tamed the creature despite repeated warnings from experts. Wildlife specialists had cautioned that hippos, even those raised in captivity, remain wild and dangerous. But Els dismissed these concerns and allowed Humphrey to roam freely on his farm. He was frequently seen swimming with the hippo and engaging in playful physical interactions. Els was confident that their bond made him safe from harm. Tragically, in 2011, his trust in Humphrey proved misplaced. The hippo turned on him in a brutal attack. Humphrey dragged Els into a river, where his body was later found. Bite marks on his body confirmed the attack. The incident highlighted the dangers of trying to domesticate such unpredictable and powerful animals. Despite his upbringing, Humphrey retained his natural instincts, proving that wild animals cannot be fully tamed. Charla Nash and Travis the chimpanzee. In 2009, Charla Nash's life was forever altered by a violent attack. The culprit was Travis, a chimpanzee raised like a pet by his owner, Sandra Harold, in Stamford, Connecticut. Travis was a familiar sight around town. He often rode in cars and even appeared in local TV commercials. Though Travis seemed calm and sociable, his behavior had grown unpredictable with age. Experts attributed this to frustration and a lack of interaction with other chimpanzees. On the day of the incident, Nash visited Harold to help control Travis after he escaped. What followed was horrifying. The chimpanzee attacked Nash with shocking ferocity. He tore at her face and hands, leaving her with life-altering injuries and permanent disfigurement. The attack drew widespread media attention, highlighting the dangers of keeping primates as pets. Nash underwent numerous surgeries and a long, painful recovery. Despite her trauma, she chose to share her story with the world. Pam Weaver and her camel. Pam Weaver's tragic death in 2007 shocked Australia and raised awareness about the dangers of keeping large animals as pets. Weaver, a farmer's wife, had been given a young male camel as a gift for her 60th birthday. Over time, the camel began showing increasingly erratic and dominant behavior. Camels are often seen as gentle animals, particularly those trained for tourism or transport. However, their behavior can change unpredictably in captivity, especially with young, unneutered males. On the day of the incident, the camel knocked Weaver to the ground in a sudden act of aggression. It then attempted to mount her, a dominance behavior typical of male camels. Tragically, Weaver suffocated under the animal's weight before help could arrive. Her death shocked her community and sparked widespread discussions. Many questioned the safety of keeping camels as pets, especially when they mature and their natural instincts emerge. Mark Vogel and his exotic pets. Mark Vogel, a 30-year-old from Dortmund, Germany, was obsessed with exotic creatures, especially venomous ones. His apartment in 2004 became notorious after authorities made a horrifying discovery. Vogel's lifeless body was surrounded by his extensive collection of dangerous pets. His home housed tarantulas, lizards, scorpions, and snakes. Among them was his most dangerous companion, a black widow spider. Tragically, Vogel's fascination with these lethal creatures led to his shocking death. Investigators believe he was bitten by the black widow, its venom rendering him helpless. While immobilized, his other pets, unaware of boundaries, began scavenging his body. When authorities arrived, they found a gruesome scene. Much of Vogel's body had been consumed, leaving even experienced responders horrified. His exotic pets were safely removed from the apartment afterward. Dan Brandon and his python, Tiny. In 2017, Dan Brandon, a 31-year-old reptile lover from Hampshire, UK, met a tragic end. He was killed by his pet python, Tiny, an 8-foot-long snake he had cared for over several years. Brandon adored Tiny and often shared photos and stories about her on social media. Friends and family knew him as a passionate reptile enthusiast. Brandon's bond with Tiny was strong, but it came with hidden dangers. One fateful day, he was found dead in his bedroom, with Tiny nearby. Investigators concluded he had been asphyxiated by the snake. The coroner explained that Tiny likely coiled around his chest and neck, either in an act of closeness or triggered by instinct. Even small missteps in handling a constrictor can activate its natural behavior to tighten its grip. Ronald Huff and his monitor lizards. In 2002, Ronald Huff, a 42-year-old from Newark, Delaware, died under tragic and unusual circumstances. Huff was an avid reptile enthusiast who kept several large monitor lizards as pets. These carnivorous reptiles, known for their sharp teeth and strong limbs, were his pride and joy. Huff's fascination with exotic animals made him unique, but it also brought risks. For days, his family couldn't reach him. Alarmed, his mother contacted the authorities. When police entered Huff's home, they were met with a horrifying scene. His body lay partially consumed, with his monitor lizards freely roaming the room. Investigators suggested that Huff might have suffered a medical emergency, like a heart attack, causing him to collapse. Left unattended, the hungry lizards likely began scavenging out of instinct. Andrew Oberle and a chimpanzee attack. In 2012, primatologist Andrew Oberle faced a terrifying attack by 2 chimpanzees at a sanctuary in South Africa. Oberle, a passionate graduate student, had traveled to the Jane Goodall Institute Chimpanzee Eden to study primate behavior. While observing the chimps, Oberle accidentally crossed an inner fence meant to separate humans from the animals. Unaware of the looming danger, he entered the restricted zone. Suddenly, 2 adult male chimpanzees charged at him. They dragged him under the main fence and into their enclosure. The attack was brutal and lasted several minutes. The chimps tore at him, causing severe injuries, including the loss of fingers, a foot, and significant damage to his face. Despite the overwhelming assault, Oberle's determination to survive kept him alive until help arrived. Sanctuary staff eventually managed to scare off the chimps and pull him to safety. He was airlifted to a hospital, where doctors performed multiple surgeries to save his life. His recovery was long and grueling, but his resilience amazed many. This incident highlighted the immense strength and unpredictable nature of chimpanzees. Even in captivity, they retain instincts to defend their territory and hierarchy. Chimps are not only incredibly powerful, but also capable of calculated aggression, making them highly dangerous when provoked or feeling threatened. Oberle's ordeal reminded many of similar tragedies, like Charla Nash's 2009 attack by a pet chimp in Connecticut. Nash suffered devastating injuries, sparking debates about the risks of keeping primates in captivity, whether as pets or in sanctuaries. Both cases emphasize the need for caution and ethical considerations when dealing with these intelligent yet unpredictable creatures. Al Simon and his pet bull. In 2003, Minnesota farmer Al Simon met a tragic fate at the hands of an unlikely aggressor, his pet bull. Simon, an experienced livestock handler, had raised the bull from a calf and believed their bond would temper its aggression. Like many seasoned farmers, he likely thought familiarity would override the animal's natural instincts. On the day of the incident, Simon entered the bull's enclosure for what appeared to be a routine chore. Bulls, however, are unpredictable and territorial by nature. Even those raised closely with humans can act aggressively without warning, particularly when they perceive a threat. Weighing over a ton, the bull became suddenly agitated. It charged at Simon with overwhelming strength. Bulls are known for their immense power, especially in their necks and shoulders, which they use to deliver devastating blows. Despite Simon's years of experience, the animal's size and force left him defenseless. The attack caused fatal injuries, leaving the farming community in shock. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of working with large animals, no matter how familiar they may seem. Bulls, especially mature ones, have deeply ingrained territorial and dominance instincts. These instincts can activate without provocation, making them a significant hazard, even for the most skilled handlers. Ruth Hodge and her pack of dogs. In 2013, Ruth Hodge, a Pennsylvania woman, met a tragic end caused by her own pets, a group of dogs that included several pit bull mixes. Hodge had raised the dogs herself, but their growing aggression often left her uneasy. She noticed dominant behaviors and fights breaking out between them. Despite her concerns, her deep love for the animals made it hard for her to consider rehoming them. On the day of the attack, Hodge entered the dog's enclosure. The exact trigger remains unknown. It could have been a small action, like trying to intervene or discipline one of the dogs. Unfortunately, that action escalated quickly. In packs, dogs often act on heightened instincts, especially when one displays aggression. The others may join in due to pack dynamics, intensifying the situation. Hodge's familiarity with her dogs wasn't enough to protect her. The pack turned on her, attacking with fatal force before anyone could help. The incident left her community stunned and grieving. This tragedy underscores the risks of keeping a large group of dominant dog breeds together. Without proper training and separation, such packs can revert to natural behaviors that prioritize hierarchy over human relationships. Experts often warn against managing powerful breeds in groups without addressing signs of aggression early. A.J. Merrick and his Bengal tiger. In 2003, A.J. Merrick, an Illinois man with a passion for big cats, met a tragic end at the claws of his own pet Bengal tiger. Merrick had raised the tiger from its youth, captivated by the animal's beauty and power. Despite his affection, he underestimated the risks of keeping such a predator. Like many exotic pet owners, Merrick believed his bond with the tiger would override its wild instincts. He ignored the safety measures that professionals advise, assuming familiarity could prevent danger. On the fateful day, this belief was shattered. While attempting a routine feeding, Merrick entered the tiger's enclosure. Suddenly, the tiger turned on him. Weighing close to 500 pounds, it used its immense strength and sharp claws to overpower him. The attack left Merrick with fatal injuries. This tragedy highlights the inherent risks of keeping wild animals, even those raised in captivity. Big cats retain their natural instincts, which can become deadly in moments of stress or unpredictability. Merrick's death also reignited debates about the legality of owning exotic pets. At the time, Illinois and several other states had minimal restrictions on private ownership of tigers, lions, and other dangerous species. Merrick's case became a catalyst for change. In the years following, states tightened regulations to address the dangers posed to both owners and the public. Bobby Hodge and his wolves. In 2004, Bobby Hodge, a passionate wildlife enthusiast from Texas, faced a devastating fate involving his pet wolves. Fascinated by the majesty of these creatures, he spent years caring for a small pack. Hodge even created a personal sanctuary, hoping to connect humans with one of nature's most enigmatic predators. Despite his dedication, Hodge underestimated the risks tied to raising such instinct-driven animals. One routine day, he entered the wolves' enclosure to tend to them. Without warning, the wolves turned on him. Details of the incident remain unclear. Experts suggest the attack may have stemmed from disrupted pack dynamics or stress. Wolves, even in captivity, maintain complex social hierarchies. Human interference can sometimes destabilize these structures, leading to unpredictable behavior. Hodge's close relationship with the wolves left him vulnerable. In a tragic turn, he sustained fatal injuries during the encounter. His death serves as a stark reminder of the challenges of handling wild animals with strong pack instincts. Though captive wolves may seem tamer, their natural behaviors and territorial instincts are never fully suppressed. This tragedy underlined the importance of respecting these animals' wild nature and understanding the boundaries necessary for safe interactions. It also reignited conversations about the feasibility of keeping such powerful predators in captivity. Siegfried and Roy's tiger attack. On October 3, 2003, a legendary Las Vegas magic act turned into a nightmare. Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy was attacked during a live performance by Montecore, a 7-year-old white tiger. Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn had captivated audiences worldwide with their extravagant shows featuring exotic animals, especially tigers. Their performances symbolized the apparent harmony between humans and wild creatures. But that night, the illusion of control shattered. As Roy performed alongside Montecore, the tiger suddenly deviated from the routine. It lunged at Roy, grabbed him by the neck, and dragged him off stage. The 400-pound tiger's strength overwhelmed everyone, leaving Roy with critical injuries. Handlers and Siegfried rushed to intervene, but the damage was already done. Roy was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where doctors worked tirelessly to save his life. Though he survived, the attack left lasting effects on his mobility and speech, ending his performing career. The incident sent shockwaves through fans and the entertainment industry. Many debated the reasons behind the attack. Some believed Roy's health played a role, as there were reports he may have suffered a stroke moments before. Siegfried later claimed Montecore wasn't attacking, but trying to protect Roy, pointing out that the tiger hadn't fully bitten down. Regardless, the attack raised serious questions about using wild animals in performances. Siegfried and Roy's iconic show was suspended indefinitely. The incident also triggered a larger conversation about animal welfare. Entertainment venues and circuses began rethinking the use of live animals in shows. Animal rights groups called for stricter regulations on exotic animal performances. The attack even influenced Hollywood, where the shift toward CGI animals gained momentum as audiences grew more conscious of animal ethics. The tragedy marked the end of an era for Siegfried and Roy. It also reshaped public opinion about the risks and responsibilities of working with wild animals, leaving a lasting impact on the entertainment world.